Hey, I just wanted to give you a little quick review on some stuff just before you do your group assessment and also before you take your test. Okay, so there'll be a question on there where you're going to have a box here. Okay, it's going to go like this, all right. And let me clean this one up a little bit. And the dimensions will be in centimeters. So let's say we have 100 here. And then let's see, we'll have 30 here. And 10 here. And it's going to say find the volume in liters. Okay? So that's what's important. You got to remember that there's 1,000 cubic centimeters in 1 liter. Okay? So that's not on the test or on a group assessment, so you have to kind of remember that. All right, so this is easy to find volume, right? Okay, we can all find volume here. We're going to take 100 times 30 times 10, multiply those things, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4 zeros. Okay, so that's going to be 30,000 cubic centimeters, but we want to find out what it is in liters, so we have to divide by 1,000. 1, 2, 3, that goes away. So we end up with 30 liters, all right? So again, you're going to have a box. You just got to take base times height, or length times width times height, however you want to think of it. Area of the base times the height. You're going to multiply those numbers. Remember, that's in cubic centimeters, so you're going to use a conversion. Cubic centimeters, 1,000 equals 1 liter, and you want to make sure you divide, all right? The next thing that we kind of did that's going to be on there is finding the area of like a pond, okay? So we did some things like that. So we'll have some crazy shapes kind of like this. All right, and we want to find the area of that. So what I did is I have some centimeter grids that are transparency grids. So you're just going to put them over the top of this. So you're going to get something like this. So they're going to go over the top. Okay. And what you want to do is remember you're going to count wholes versus partials, right? You're going to count whole squares that are in the pond and partial squares that are in the pond. So we'll count the whole squares first. I'll do that in this pink here. So here's a whole square. Oops, I wanted to do it in the pink here. Here's a whole square. All right, I'm getting all these that are whole squares. Oops, that one's not. This one is. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I have 8 whole squares. And now I'm going to go count the partial squares. So I have 21 partial squares. Now I might have some Visa pens. I'll leave them out. Okay, you can use those, but then the transparency will have to be wiped down with some water before we use it. Okay, so if you're going to use it, use a Visa pen. Mark it so you can count your squares easy. That's fine. Just make sure you give it to Mr. Wayne so he can wipe it off with some water. Okay, let's see. I think I had 21 here. Okay, so now what do? Well, to find the answer, remember we're going to take the 8 holes. Well, we can take half of those. Okay, so we're going to 8 holes and 10.5 partials, or 10.5 for the partials. That gives us 18.5 for the area. All right, for the area. So if the area, so then after you get that area, all right? You just have to multiply it by the height, well, however deep that is, and that will give you the volume. Now, it's going to give you some units, and it's going to tell you how to do some conversions with the units right on the test. So if once you count the squares, all right, then you just got to follow your answer, and you'll be fine, okay? So remember what you'll do then. Say this is 18.5, let's say centimeters. It's not a very big pond, obviously, okay? So that would be square centimeters. So let's say that the average depth, maybe it's a spill or something, right, is 1 centimeter. Then we would have 18.5. Here, let's make it something different so that it actually looks different. 2 centimeters. So we take 18.5, multiply that by 2. And that would be in cubic centimeters. So then you can convert it to liters from there. All right. Now yours will be bigger, so it'll be making a little bit more sense. All right. The next problem that we'll have, and you can pause this too if you need to look at it again. The next problem that we'll have is going to give you a table where you're going to have time and volume. That's going to be something where something's going to be flowing down. Okay, so maybe 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. Okay, and the volume will go 2, and we'll go 4, and we'll go 6, and 8, and 10. Okay, so this will be in minutes, and this will be in liters. All right, so what will happen then is you're going to use that information. You're going to find the slope of a line y equals mx plus b that goes through those points, because it's going to give you a plot. All right, so then you'll do that. Now the big thing here is to remember that the slope is the same as the rate. Okay, it's the same as the rate. So we need to find the rate in liters per minute. Okay, we can do that by taking the amount of liters, that's 2, and dividing by the amount of time. Okay, so that'd be 5 minutes. So then that means we're going to get 0.4 liters per minute. All right, 0.4. You just take 2 and divide it by 5. That's what you're going to get. So then that is your slope. So you would go y equals 0.4x plus b. B, remember, is when the time is 0. And when the time was 0, nothing had flown out of there. Okay, it didn't start flowing until we started counting it. So then this would just be y equals 0.4x. You can put a plus 0 there if you want to, but you don't have to. All right, but just remember, slope is rate, so you don't have to go through and do the y2. You can, but it's a little bit easier. Just remember that slope is rate. Okay. If you have the rate in liters per minute, and you need to convert that into liters per second, then remember when we had seconds, we multiplied by 60. In this case, we're going to divide by 60. So we would take 0.24 or 0.4, sorry, and divide that by 60. I think I got a calculator here. I can do that. So if I take 0.4 divided by 60, I would get 0.006. You can round it, or you can make it 0.6 repeating. Remember, that's in liters per second, though. So if you wanted to, again, if you want to move it in hours, you're just timesing by 60. Okay. The rest of the questions that are kind of related to that, you should be able to find out, and you should be able to do those okay. It's just basically asking you to use the equation to find certain times, how long it takes to fill something, or how much volume do you get in so many seconds or minutes. All right, so you just got to make sure that you're using that equation, or you're using the rates. Okay, you're using them correctly. All right, it's a pretty short test. Shouldn't take you too long. That's why I have a group assessment too to work on. Okay, so do those things, and then you should be all right. So I'll see you on Wednesday, and we'll be starting something new. I'll need to look at all your some of the exploration things you did so you can get your extra credit points. And remember, if you have any tests or quizzes or the project out there, you got to turn them in by Thursday because we don't have school on Friday. So make sure that you take care of that stuff. All right. See you then. Bye.